You know, days like today have me daydreaming of whenever I'm in Florida and going on these beautiful dives where the water is crystal clear and there's not a cloud in the sky, weather's 80 degrees. And that got me thinking, I have not done a dive site review in a really long time, and shame on me for not doing that. Now you guys probably think I haven't been diving, but despite my lack of time, I have been diving. See, the issue I'm running into is these videos that I make take a ton of time to produce. So, for the sake of time and the sake of getting this video out, I'm going to go ahead and spare you of all my B-roll footage.
Hey! Get off my property!
Church here with Rest and Rec. Thank you for tuning in. Your viewership is greatly appreciated. Back in March, I dove Rainbow River. Rainbow River is located just south of Rainbow Springs State Park in Denellen, Florida. This dive is a drift dive where the boat takes you upriver about a mile or so and you just dive with the current straight down through crystal clear water until you get back to the boat landing. A little bit about this dive site. Rainbow River is a 6-mile long river fed by First Magnitude Spring. First Magnitude Spring isn't one big hole in the ground like Vortex or Morrison, but rather several small vents. And like always, I had to stick my hand into them. Once upon a time, this river had such names as Wekiwa Creek, Blue Spring, and Blue Run. After realizing that every other spring in Florida had the word blue in the name, they renamed it to its current name of Rainbow River. Back in the 1930s, Rainbow Spring became a privately owned theme park. It had glass-bottom boats, a zoo, rodeo, gift shops, and even a monorail. Man, I bet that was awesome. Well, like most great things, it couldn't compete with Disney, so the whole thing went belly up in 1974. All wasn't lost though. The state of Florida purchased the original area that was Rainbow Springs attraction back in 1990, and in 1995 the Florida State Park Service officially opened Rainbow Springs State Park. Rainbow River is now open year-round to visitors diving, canoeing, inner tubing, and fishing. Alright, Rainbow River dive site characteristics. As far as dive sites go, this is one of, if not the shallowest dives I've ever made. At deepest part, it was only 25 feet. Also, this is a drift dive, so the water does most of the work moving you through the dive site. It's so shallow and so easygoing, a single aluminum 80 tank will take you through the entire dive site, which should take about an hour. Given that Rainbow River is so shallow and so easygoing, I decided this would be the perfect place to use my full face mask. My sack rate for my full face mask is terrible, so I decided to bust it out for this dive. So, given this information, who is this dive site for? Is it only for beginners? No. I think that anybody of any skill level can enjoy this dive. But if you are a beginner, or you don't like deep dives, or you crave crystal clear water, or you don't feel like finning, you just want to ride the current, or you breathe a lot of gas, you're one of those divers who whiz through a tank like a heat round, this is the dive for you. Now, how this dive site works. If you put KP Hole Park into Google Maps, it will take you to the boat ramp parking lot. Now, I say put KP Hole into Google Maps because you don't want to confuse the boat ramp for Rainbow Springs State Park. Now, KP Hole area, they have a place for you to pay for the boat, they have restrooms, they have changing rooms. The parking lot is only about 100 yards away from the boat ramp, so most people opted just to get in their gear in the parking lot and then walk down to the boat. Minus the fins, you enter the boat intact with all of your gear for the dive. Nothing more, nothing less. Now, you don't want to leave anything on the boat because the guy's shuttling people upriver all day, so anything you leave on the boat's gone. And you don't want to bring anything extra because here's the thing about Rainbow River. The only public area is the river itself. The land on both sides is privately owned, so you're not allowed to go ashore unless it's an absolute emergency. The good news is the water is usually shallow near the side, so if you need to stand up or take a break, as long as you stay in the water, you're perfectly legal. So, even though I'm only in 2 feet of water, this is not private property. That is. This isn't. Make sense? Another legality about this place, since divers are sharing the water with boats, it's necessary for you or your group to have a dive flag. Dive shops and dive guides. So there are no dive shops in the state park. There are no dive guides. The boat captain will give you your dive brief on the way up the river. If you're going to need rental gear or a rental dive flag, you need to make those arrangements prior to arriving. Water temperature. I dove Rainbow River back in March and it was 71 degrees. Now, as usual, I recommend buying a wetsuit if you haven't already because these rental wetsuits have been crapped in more than state park porta-johns. Oh, I hear it in the comments section already.
Oh, Church, you and your comic relief. Always so greatly exaggerating the condition of rental wetsuits.
Oh, an exaggeration, you say? Well, check out what I found on TikTok.
I was 80 feet down on the dive and I really didn't feel good. I really had to poop, but I was wearing a wetsuit while I pooped myself in my wetsuit. The worst part was it was a rental wetsuit and they didn't throw it away after.
Alright, moving right along. Water visibility. The water visibility is nearly perfect. 50, 60 feet at least. The water is so clear that it truly feels like you're a bird flying over an open field of grass. The downside is, since the water is so shallow, if and when someone kicks up the bottom, it is very disruptive to the visibility. Ecology. Eelgrass. You can't go a square foot on this dive site without running into eelgrass. As far as fish go, I mean, it's your typical freshwater stream fish like bass, catfish, bluegill. I actually saw a barracuda on this dive. And according to websites, there have been alligator gar caught here as well. Alright, let's talk price. $3 for parking and $10 for the boat ride upstream. That's about as cheap of a boat dive as you can find anywhere. Rating. Now, before I rate this dive, I want to go back and say that maybe I was a bit harsh grading the other dive sites. I mean, not every dive site can be Bonaire. I'm going to say that with the simplicity, the beauty, the wildlife, the price, and its ability to cater to new divers, Rainbow River gets 4 stars. Well, this has been my dive site review of Rainbow River. If you like content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe and bell icon, that way you never miss a new video when it comes out. And if you know somebody who would like to dive this dive site or you think should know about it, be sure to share the video with them. I want everybody to experience the beauty and the joy of these places. Anyway, this has been Church with Rest and Rec. Take it easy.